Hello again, Tooned fans. So, very pleasantly surprised that Hot Wheels is making tuned cars in 2024. So this is their second one. It's number 213 of 250 this year. It's the LBWK Skyline, Kenmeri Skyline, that is. So here's some images of the real deal back there. So this is the car actually owned, I guess, by the owner of LBWK. And so here they just say Skyline 2000GT-R LBWK. They don't really say it's a Kenmeri. Alright, so let's take a look at these images here from Super Street. So yeah, you got the crazy angled headlights, you got the oil cooler there, you got the text on the windscreen. Hot Wheels really did a good job here. The black fender flares, the black wheels are not the same though. I don't know why they chose to use these three-spoke like Advan looking things when they already have steel wheels like this car has. Maybe they're thinking about the future-proofing it. And also they wrote LBWK on the side of this when the real car doesn't have it. So that's interesting. Or maybe this is another different car. I'm not sure. You notice this black ring there, the Skyline logo. There's none of that here on this pillar here. But they do have the funky round angled taillights that a Kenmeri would never have. And it's got two exhaust pipes in the proper side of the car. Yeah, alright. So it's nice the fender flares are all stuck out. It's a good enough job except for the wheels, but I'm going to try to swap those out anyways. Okay, well, the sky blue is nice. It's not metallic. There's no metal flake. Oh, well, this is quite interesting. This side does have this black dot. But unless Super Street flipped that image, why is it not on this side? Right? No, I'm looking at the images. This car has two black dots, one on each side. Why would it? That's weird. Why? And this side actually it's raised as well. So this is a really strange design decision by Mattel, not having this raised bump on both sides and not having the dot there. Very strange. Okay, well the door handle is painted black as well, a little finger recess. This is a decent color match between the metal paint and this plastic base. So okay, the fender flares I think are plastic from the interior, which I think is very smart of them to do. You know, the color separation is always going to be perfect, and then they don't have to waste money painting this. They could put that paint elsewhere, in this case that stamping there, or ideally it would have been on the tail lights. But it's nice that they have this stamping up here. I have no idea what that means. Please, someone that knows Japanese, leave a comment for everyone else. So, yeah, nice texture here in the grille. The oil cooler looks decent enough. The headlights are fantastic because they have that printed on graphic that Hot Wheels does. You know, they look like headlights, even though they're just printed. Okay, the chin spoiler is nice and huge, and then we have some recesses for the signals. Yeah, I wish they made the recesses deeper so you could add the color easier. I'm not sure if I'm going to even bother. Well, maybe I will later. But this side, ooh, unfortunately not enough black paint. But the door handle is raised, so you could hit that with a Sharpie even. It'll turn black nice enough. This side doesn't have a window. I mean, this side has a window, the other side didn't. No details there as far as paint goes. Now these are nice and deep, so I really wish they would put deep recesses anywhere, so it's easier to just put paint in them. These are also deep, which is cool. It makes them look more like tubes. I guess you could maybe take a... well, if you're really careful with a paintbrush, you might be able to paint this with silver. But nothing wants to stick to this kind of plastic, so I'm not going to bother. Alright, the base here tells you what the car is and roughly when it was first made. I think this is the very first release of this casting, but I'm sure going to have plenty more. Yeah, alright, so we have some recesses here for the venting, so the top looks pretty good. I will say, you know, Hot Wheels does a good job with their paint. I think it's powder coated. Leave a comment if you really know. That interior, still going to need a flashlight. Well, center console, alright. Oh, they actually got the steering wheel on the correct side, I think, if it's JDM. And then some texture on the seats. And also it has back seats with texture. It actually has a pretty big back seat area considering. Alright, well that's cool. And I also like this, there's no post. You know, no metal post going through the center of this thing. Very cool. So by the way, this paint, if you rub it afterwards, it's going to fall right off of the model, but if I never touch the areas with the paint, it should be okay. I have to modify my own paintbrushes so they're very small. So let's see if we can get some silver and orange in here later. So the one good thing about the slickness of these surfaces is if you mess up, you can use some fine eyelash Q-tips and just scrape off the extra paint. You know, oh, that's interesting. I thought for a moment this would have a silver bumper, but it actually is a body colored bumper on the images. Alright, so I'm going to let that silver dry. And then I'm even going to paint silver in the back tail light and then just put red over it. Red has a really hard time covering surfaces. Sorry, there's a bunch of cat hairs I stirred up in this room. So now I got some allergies. Yeah, sorry. Lost focus. I'm not looking through my computer, my phone screen doing this. Well, you know, should I try to paint the exhaust? I will, but I know it's going to flake off very easily because that'll be hard to avoid touching, I think, but I'm sure you could put some sort of surface prep on it, but I'm not going to bother. I'm gonna guess there's only 3 or 4 strands of hair on this paintbrush. That's what you need to get really precise stuff going on there. I probably should have taken a hobby knife and scraped off that extra flash as well, but too late now. I'm too lazy. Maybe I'll add a license plate to this as well. You know, before I even paint stuff, I should actually do the wheels first, because I'm just going to mess up the paint while messing with the wheels. So I just use these cheap clippers and try to cut up to the axle. This might take like 4 or 5 cuts though to do it. And what I'm trying to do is free up room to use a clippers big enough to go through the steel axle of this thing. I like to save these things for reuse, either in this or other wheel projects. Alright, so then these clippers, that's the model number 7612-125. I've been using these for a while, and they can easily clip through these Hot Wheels axles without issues. Alright, so I'll save all that. Let's save this for later. So let's test. We've got these puff wheels here. The other ones I had on my RX-7, they were too small. They're nice wheels, just too small. And these guys are kind of morons, because they tell you the diameter of the wheel, which is fine, but they don't tell you the diameter of the tires, which is actually pretty important to try to see if it fits inside of a model, right? But this one actually has 2 different size tires, so let me pull out the calipers in a moment, and we shall see. I also have the other wheel set sitting up there in the corner. if I need to use those. So these tires are already on it. These are 8.4-ish, probably 8. They're probably supposed to be 8.5. And then let's do one where I swap out this, what looks like a lower profile tire. What a small bag. It's got 2 solid axles. So the wheels themselves are 3D printed, and they're actually passing air, so that's actually quite impressive. And they actually have a nice tread to them. And this is a rubbery tire, it's not a 3D printed tire. So hopefully you can see the details of that wheel. It's a nice wheel for sure. I just feel like it would be smart if they told you the diameter of the tires. Alright, so let's now save that. I'm probably going to keep the thick ones. Oh, I see. So these are just slicks. These are this alternate set. And now these are probably supposed to be probably 8. Sorry, I lost focus. Right, this is actually 7.8 or 8. So that's I guess a pretty decent difference, a half millimeter. You know, in the realm of 1/64, that's a big jump. So, but for me, this is way too small. Just looking at the images of the real car, it's running some pretty fat-looking tires. And so, pleasantly, there's no ridge. It's just a smooth surface there. Probably put that tread on backwards, but I don't care. Alright, so let's see if we put this up in here. Oh boy, that is so minuscule though. You know, it doesn't fill in the wheel well very well at all. Let's pull out the ones I rejected for my RX-3, and you can compare the two. So these are much bigger, the ones on the right side. And they as well are pretty well detailed, they're just a bigger diameter. So if you're looking at these on AliExpress, the ones listed as 6.8 millimeters are much smaller. I can't remember what these were listed as, what diameter, but overall the diameter is 8.7 or something, if I had to guess. Okay. Anyways, so I'm going to go with these wheels then, just to try to fill out the wheel wells. And I'm not going to use the axles, because just looking at the camber on that Liberty Walk photograph, or that Super Street photograph, it's just, these are way too small. Maybe these, you could probably put these on like those Aoshima Grachan cars, the actual realistic looking models, not this tuned thing. Now if you're curious, how big is the actual stock Hot Wheels? 9.1, so that's the biggest yet, or 9.3 maybe. So I have some poster putty here. This stuff is great. I don't think it hardens, I don't think it strips paint. It's just a reusable plastic putty or something. So we'll just jam that in there, and jam this wheel here. Boy, that's still really small, you know. But at least I think it's going past the bottom of the car. You know what, I think I need a lot more putty, because these fender flares are quite large. Yeah, alright. Something like that. I'll just split this one in half. No, that's too much. Nope, that's way too much. What's nice about the putty is you can make it steer as well. Let's make it steer in this direction. Okay. Pitch the tops there. I wish that someone made a black putty. This is the darkest one I could find. A lot of them are like white or gray or even sky blue. But it'd be cool if there was just a black one. Naturally, you could probably just put paint on this, but... Alright, so I think that's not too bad looking. Well, in fact, actually, I mean, the gray is actually covering up that sky blue of the frame, so that's better than just seeing a bunch of sky blue behind the tire. Let's see if I have a... So it's pretty much resting on the plastic base, but it just so happens that the tire looks like it's touching the ground. I guess that's gonna work. Let me finish up adding some paint. You'll need to watch me paint something. Okay, I got a little bit of paint on the taillights and those turn signals. Nah, they're not good. Alright, that's better. I had to wipe off the extra paint. Forgot to do that. Alright, so here's the RX-3 that came out earlier. I tried to add paint. I can't even attempt to put paint on the taillights. It's just too difficult. Here's the Volkswagen Golf from the Tooned series. I can't remember what wheel. I think these are from a UCC coffee car, and these are Hot Wheels Real Riders with the rubber tires. So I don't understand why the Hot Wheels didn't choose to use these wheels on that particular. Well, the Real Riders I can understand, but just the Steelies, right? And then here's the Porsche from Tooned, and I 3D printed my own wheels for that one. So that's it for the Hot Wheels, but I do have a bunch of other Tooned Kenmeris, so hold on a second. I forgot that I even had this Hot Wheels. I think that's supposed to be a really modified Hakosuka, and I have some BNDS alloys on it. Okay, so Chorokyu wise, we do have this silver Kenmeri stock with the stock wheels from Chorokyu. I think this might have an opening hood. Yeah, it's funny because it's literally a sticker. It's not even a molded hood. It's a toy. But here's a really nice one. This is the a blue version of the concept car. In this I have Hot Wheels Real Riders again, but I did paint those gold myself. Yeah, I'm using poster putty to mount those. So you can see there's a bit of the deformation from Hot Wheels is more extreme, I would say, with a crazy high cockpit, right? And it's still foreshortened quite a bit. Whereas the Chorokyus, the greenhouse just isn't as tall, and they have these really dumb coin holders. I wish they would get away from that. It just really detracts from the toy, I think. All right. Well, anyways, that's it for those. Here's just a random Japanese figurine. I don't know what it is, but it looks like a baseball player. So I suppose the question is, what will Hot Wheels come out with next for Tooned? I hope they, it's nice that they have all these JDM cars and they have like the Fast and Furious stuff. I would actually perhaps like to see more Western or even European cars. We haven't seen any of those yet, right? Oh no, the Porsche is European. So I guess they're trickling out everything. But I think it would be interesting if they took like a 1960s or 70s Cadillac or Lincoln Continental and made a cartoon version, because those things are so long that they would look really funny, I think, being foreshortened, squished down, and then still have a high canopy. So like I'm thinking like a 66 Continental or some sort of 70s Cadillac, the stuff that gangsters used to drive around. So that would be interesting. Or maybe like a 40s car even. But anyways, if you have some ideas, leave some comments here or any other social media. I guess Mattel must have their own comment section. But I'd be curious what you guys would like. Anyways, I pretty much like anything these guys do as far as the Tooned stuff goes. I don't buy too many of their so-called realistic looking cars because they're not really realistic looking. You might as well just jump up to a premium brand. Alright, well anyways, thank you for watching. We'll see you the next time around. Bye.